There's a shadow on your face. Your microphone is...
It's gotten intimate with my face. There you go.
There you go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the PokeBeach.com podcast. My name is John. I go by Water Pokemon Master on the website. And I am joined, as always, by my wonderful friend...
Justin Basil of JustinBasil.com.
And we did record an episode last week, but I forgot to hit the record button for the video. So, I guess we did an episode last week, but it wasn't recorded. Only the audio was. So it's a lost episode, I guess.
Okay, guys, you got to convince him to just push the audio out because it does exist.
No.
On both our ends, we recorded the audio. You just got to make him actually edit it and put it out.
I was so tired last week that I couldn't even complete thoughts and anything. So it was just a bad episode anyway. So I was like, forget it. So we'll just go over any stories that were relevant the past few weeks to in this episode. But okay, let's start with the first news story of the week is that the McDonald's 2024 Pokemon card list has been revealed, but there are still no signs of a US release. So as I posted a couple of weeks ago, the annual McDonald's Pokemon TCG promotion is coming to France, celebrating 2024's Year of the Dragon. It'll run until January 21st in France, but we still don't have a US release date. As usual, each Happy Meal will come with a 4-card booster pack containing a holo card and 3 non-holo cards. You can see here the booster pack is Dragonite with Pikachu on its back. And here, this time we've got 7 holos instead of 6, all using the McDonald's exclusive confetti holo foil. You have Pikachu from 151 here, which I'm sure master set collectors are going to want. Although actually, like, this Pikachu... It's got the McDonald's numbering, so do people count that as a 151 as part of their master sets? You wouldn't? I would. It's like it's still Pikachu.
It's not part of 151. It's part of McDonald's collection for 2024.
It's still that Pikachu from 151, though. I don't know.
Yeah, but you get reprints in other sets all the time with exactly the same art and everything, and it's not from that set.
They don't consider
go like, I can't call my Scarlet and Violet base set complete because I didn't get the Arven from Obsidian Flames. Like that's not how it works.
Oh, okay. And then the other holos are Miraidon, Koraidon. Can you say this name in French? Trio Hydre? Trio Hydre?
Trio Hydre.
This is Hydreigon. Roaring Moon, Dragonite, Drampa are all the holo cards, and then here's the non-holos, including the Charizard and Umbreon are surprisingly not holo, nor the Rayquaza. So this is the full card list, and then this time instead of having those, what was those toys before? I never even put them together. What were they, like spinning toys or something?
I have no idea.
I don't know what they were. I would always throw them out. But this time, they the little package that has the booster pack in it comes with a 2-sided dragon Pokemon poster, or featuring the Pokemon from this promotion, which are mostly dragon Pokemon. And then on the back, you can put stickers on them. So anyway, so that's the set list for this year. I'm excited about this set because I feel like the dragon theme is... I like when they do some kind of theme, and dragon Pokemon are really cool, so I like that. The last few years have been kind of random Pokemon, so... and then in terms of the U.S. release date, again, we still don't know when it's coming to the U.S. The cards have a set stamp of M24, which means McDonald's 2024, so presumably we would still get it in the U.S. maybe later this month, but it's a little concerning. We haven't heard anything yet. So I don't know what's happening with this promotion. I don't know if they're going to skip it or something. Maybe that E. coli scare got them to skip it this time. Maybe they were always planning to not have it now. Maybe they will have it. Who knows? So we'll see. I really like this Roaring Moon too. It's going to have the confetti holo foil on the, these, what do you call them? The ancient and future Pokemon have that holo pattern that'll go into the card body here. So it's cool. We're going to get that in the confetti holo foil. This Roaring Moon's going to look really pretty with that. I'm excited for that. And I definitely want the Pikachu. Okay, so yeah, stay tuned. I'll find out if it's coming to the US. So we'll see. We should hear about it like within the next 2 weeks, I would think, if it's coming out in December, later in December. So we'll see.
It's still weird that we haven't seen it at all.
Yeah. Well, but also we didn't really get any leaks that the French, well, I mean, I posted months ago that we knew the French promotion was coming, but we didn't actually see images for it until just a couple of days before the promotion started in France, which was very surprising to me. So it could be the same in the US, where they're just keeping more tight-lipped about it. Maybe McDonald's has reined in their, maybe they've reined in their employees or something, or they tell them last second now. And I don't know. So we'll see. Who knows what's going to happen. All right. Next news story is that we have our spring tins revealed. They're called the Azure Legends tins, featuring Kyogre, Xerneas, and Dialga EX. They will come out on February 21st for $26.99 each. These cards come from the Generations decks that were released in Japan, the EX Starter Deck Generations, which, as we've talked about in previous episodes, we like the artwork for those cards, but the cards themselves are junk from a gameplay standpoint. So
most of them are junk.
Most of them are junk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hardcore fans are always complaining when these deck cards are dumped into sets because it clogs up the sets with really bad cards, albeit that they're pretty cards, but they're not very playable.
Well, to be clear, it clogs up the ultra rare slots with a bunch of junk ultra rares is what it does.
Yeah. So now it seems like maybe TPCI is starting to realize that, and I think they're going to. My theory here is that they're going to disperse these cards throughout our tins next year. So let me just read what I wrote. I said, it seems likely that the junk Pokemon EX from the Generations decks will be dispersed into our tins throughout 2025. We know our Prismatic Evolution set will feature 10 non-stellar Pokemon EX. There are 18 EXs in the Generations decks, so we know at least 8 of them will be cut from Prismatic Evolutions. And this could be the 8 legendary Pokemon. If TPCI also cuts Pikachu, this would be enough material to make tins for the winter, spring, and summer. For example, maybe we'll get a Yellow Legends tin in the spring with Pikachu, Tapu Koko, and Koraidon, or maybe a White Legends tin in the summer with Lugia, Reshiram, and Zacian. That could be their plan here. And then if they do indeed do that with the legendary Pokemon, then we could see the non-legendary EXs from those decks in Prismatic Evolutions next month, which would be Amoonguss, Blaziken, Mimikyu, Alcremie, Lucario, Tyranitar, Paldean, Clodsire, Snorlax, and again, the damn Noivern. Noivern. So anyway, yeah, that's my theory. What do you think of that? I didn't run it by you, but I thought that.
I am not entirely certain how they're going to run this. I think Blaziken will be in the set because it is actually a good card, and I don't think they're going to relegate it to a promo, but the rest of it, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. We should start getting reveals for that pretty soon for the English release. I mean, we're what? When does that come out? When does the set come out? It was
January 17th.
Yeah, so we're just a little over a month away, so we should start getting reveals for that pretty soon. So we'll see. We should have answers pretty soon. All right, our next news story is that we've gotten the full lowdown on the Terastal Festival EX Secret Rares and how this is all going to work with their packs and everything. So we had the reveal of all the cards, as you can see here. But one of the big things about this set is that Creatures partnered with two famous artists over in Japan for Palafin EX. They had it illustrated by Tetsuo Hara. He's a manga artist known for co-creating Fists of the North Star, one of the best-selling manga of all time. And then EVEX is illustrated by Natsuko Shoji, a famous award-winning pastry chef who runs a restaurant in Tokyo, famous restaurant in Tokyo. So it seems Creatures is trying to collaborate more with people outside of the brand to get people excited. And when I posted this Palafin on Twitter, this got a ton of retweets because it was because it's illustrated by this famous manga artist. So Pokemon's really, I think, trying to, reach out to people outside of the Pokemon sphere to collaborate with, to bring in fans from, other franchises and things like that, to get people excited and into Pokemon. So yeah, there's that. I thought it was kind of funny though, like this Eevee with the fruits, it's kind of random.
Hey, I mean, be creative, right? And they were.
Yeah. But the so we were talking about this last week, that Prismatic Evolutions is going to cut one of the Terra EXs. So we were saying it's probably going to be one of the two Eevees. So maybe it'll be this one.
We don't know. Yeah,
maybe it'll be this one, and they'll put it into a special box, or maybe they won't release it at all because it's like a special collaboration. I don't know. Anyway, so then there's no regular illustration rares in this set. At 3 per box, it seems like they've been replaced by the Reverse Hollow Pokeballs and Master Ball Reverse Hollows. And then we'll be getting an Eevee illustration rare in our Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box, but that's not in this set, obviously. So it's pretty unclear how Japan is going to get this card. Doesn't seem like there's really a way to release it. And same for the Kingdra EX, Greninja EX, and King Gambit that we got in our Shrouded Fable products back in August. They were not in this set, which I know a lot of people were expecting this Kingdra and Greninja to release in that set so that Japanese fans could get it, but they are noticeably absent, which I don't know if they're going to remain English exclusive or what, but yeah, I mean, they've been releasing more country exclusive cards lately. So maybe these will remain English exclusive. Although, when I say English exclusive, I'm talking about the US, because I think these are releasing in Chinese or something, actually. I think I saw that these were coming out in Chinese, so I don't know if Japan's eventually going to get them or what. And then we also got confirmation that Terastal Festival EX will feature God Packs. These are extremely rare packs that contain a bunch of chase cards in them. So one type of God Pack will come with 7 reverse hollows, followed by 3 random EV Evolution special illustration rares. And then the second type of God Pack will trick you with a common card on top, and then you'll get all 9 Evolution and EV EX special illustration rares, as you can see right here. So that's pretty cool.
That's the best kind of trick.
Yeah, it's like I saw in the pack opening that was posted, somebody had a Goldeen on top, and then they get all these really expensive cards right after, and that must be exciting for anybody.
Yeah.
So Terastal Festival EX, each booster pack contains 10 cards. There are 10 packs per box. Each box costs 5,500 yen, or about $37. Each booster box comes with a guaranteed special illustration rare. It's also possible to pull one additional secret rare, either a full art card or an ultra rare gold card. And unfortunately, a Master Ball Reverse Hollow is not guaranteed for each booster box. You will get 3 Reverse Hollows in each booster box, but they may all be Pokeballs, and then you may get 2 Pokeballs and 1 Master Ball, but the Master Balls are not guaranteed. This probably means that Pokemon plans to print this set continuously over the next few years, because they're making these pretty hard to get. And usually that would...
Have they done that for 151? Because 151 did the Master Ball reverses too, right?
Yes, but I believe the Master Balls had a higher pull rate in 151. I might be wrong about that, but 151 they have reprinted, I think, at least twice now. So I think their plan is to print this into the ground over the next few years, which is why the Master Ball isn't guaranteed, because otherwise people just simply wouldn't be able to collect all of them. So by making it rare, it probably means that they're going to be printing this a lot to get people to keep buying it. Of course, that's just speculation, but based on past trends. And then all these cards will come to our Prismatic Evolution set on January 17th. Our set will also feature reverse holo Pokeballs and Master Balls, which was actually revealed in English first, that we were going to get both sets of those before we knew that Japan set was going to get them. But their design hasn't been revealed yet in English. We don't know if they're going to be the same. We don't know how they're going to be distributed in booster packs yet, but we shall see.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what we say a lot lately. We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. Yeah, we're working on little information right now. It's very interesting just how little we've been given for this set, considering how much is actually out there.
Yeah,
but I've said this again, and I've said this a bunch, and I'll say it again. I am most excited for Scarlet and Violet 9 right now, and the reveal of battle partners later this month cannot come soon enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should. I think we're gonna get it in 2 weeks, probably.
Roughly, yeah.
And let's. Were there any special illustration rares you wanted to point out that you like a lot?
I mean, we missed the ones. Well, we didn't miss them. The episode never went up. Yeah. The biggest one for me that was new for us was Ceruledge.
Oh yeah. At the time, yeah. Ceruledge is really pretty. It looks almost like I feel like I've seen this. Is that who illustrated that?
Looks like
Akagi. I feel like I've seen this kind of artwork before on our English booster packs. I wonder if they've done our English pack art before, because this art style looks very familiar to me. But yeah, Ceruledge is...
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
I like
They have...
You're looking up there.
They did the Greninja, the really pretty Greninja. The EX. They also did the alt for that. The one we were just talking about earlier, actually, that Kingdra.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They also did the dark Palafin art.
Oh yeah.
So they've done a few. They've done a few big ones.
Yeah, that Kingdra EX. That's one of my favorite cards in recent years. Plus, I love Kingdra. And then my favorites out of the evolutions is what I expected them to be. The Leafeon, I think, is really pretty. The Espeon. I think Espeon might be my favorite. Or Espeon and Sylveon, I think.
My favorite is definitely Sylveon.
The
Roaring Moon is really cool, too.
Yeah. Roaring Moon's pretty. The Sandy Shocks I like a lot. Roaring Moon. The Goldango. Yeah, there's a lot of good art in this set. This set is going to sustain Pokemon for a very long time. I think this is going to be like Evolving Skies. I also liked the Janine here. I like the background and everything. I think it's pretty. And then I hate those mask cards, but I think I said this.
I don't like them either.
I think I said last year that I think they are spamming us with the Ogerpon cards because we're probably not going to get a lot of Ogerpon in future generations. Like I've been saying before in card form in future generations, because I was saying before, like I feel like every generation now is very they celebrate that generation, and then like the unique aspects of it they kind of abandon for a long time. So I think that's kind of a way of getting people to buy the well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that's like a tactic to get people to buy the cards, but I think that they celebrate the current generation a lot, and then they don't really go back and use any Pokemon from that in the following generations. Like I don't think we're going to really see Ogerpon that much in card form coming up next generation or the next 2 or 3. We might get like one card or something, but I feel like that's going to be very of this generation, and that's why they're spamming us with these cards, because we're not going to see them too often after this. That's my theory. What do you think? Because like Eternatus we didn't really see either.
I mean, we have seen Eternatus.
No, but it took a while. Like it was that baby Eternatus, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we've seen it.
No, I know. I'm just saying
because it's not
like,
the focus anymore doesn't mean we didn't see it. I think this is something they used to be really bad about, but I don't think that they're that bad about it anymore. Like the biggest gap I've seen for including Pokemon from previous generations recently has been the Ultra Beasts, but I wonder if that's literally because they just don't know how to deal with the Ultra Beast tag on newer cards.
I think they could just release them as regular Pokemon. I don't think they really even need the tags. But yeah, like that's what I'm talking about though, is like even that's an example too. Ultra Beasts were very of their generation, very of Sun and Moon, and then they kind of like retired them from the card game. So I think like with Ogerpon, like we might get like a regular Ogerpon card in the future, but I don't think we're going to get all of its mask cards or anything. And I think that's why they're spamming it right now, even though like people are complaining about it. But then like in a few years when we haven't gotten as I imagine, we're not going to get those mask cards anymore. So then people are going to come back to this and be like, oh, well, this was the only set where they were, and it'll make the set feel extra special. Anyway, that's my theory. I don't know if it'll be right, but we'll see. We'll see. That should be, that's going to be our new slogan. We'll see. Okay. What else did we... Okay, some of these stories now are outdated because we just talked about aspects of them. Let's talk about Black Bolt and White Flare. So we had previously discovered these set names through trademarks, Black Bolt and White Flare, several months ago. But we now have actual information about them. They'll release on June 6th in Japan. They will feature all 156 Unova Pokemon. And as previously speculated, the two sets will be headlined by Reshiram and Zekrom. The deck boxes and card sleeves will feature them as well. Both sets will be enhanced expansion pack sets like Pokemon Card 151. They'll have mirror holofoil cards, which we call reverse holos in English. So it's unclear if this means that these sets are going to be in the same vein as 151, but for Generation 5. I kind of think that's probably what they're doing. Just because there's so many parallels, except for the fact that it's split into two sets this time. And then we're also going to get a Black Bolt and White Flare card file set releasing alongside the set. It'll contain a binder, a Victini promo, and packs of the sets. And yeah, so that's all we know so far about this. What do you think so far?
I'm a little surprised that they would try for Generation 5 to nostalgia milk like this. I understand that the player base currently is old enough that they think Gen 5 was really good. It's kind of that nostalgia wave, right?
Yep.
Every generation has its naysayers and its positive people. Yep. And eventually the people that hated a generation or the people that loved a generation because they grew up with it get old enough that they can try to defend it online. And we're at that point for Generation 5. I don't know, like, obviously Gen 1 you have all the Gen 1ers and stuff, but like Gen 1 is the oldest generation. You have most people tied to it. It's going to sell pretty much no matter what. Even for newer fans, they're going to have some affinity for a lot of the Gen 1 Pokemon just because they've existed for so long. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be the case for Gen 5. I don't think it's going to sell nearly as well. So if that is their goal, I'm interested to see how it goes for them. For me, for example, most of the Gen 5 designs are not for me. Yeah. I have maybe 5 or 6 Pokemon from Gen 5 that I like, and the rest of them, I would rather they just not exist.
Yeah, Gen 5...
They're just not good to me.
Yeah, same for me. Gen 5 was the first generation where I was like, I really don't like this generation at all. Like, I remember when the starters were revealed, I had such a negative reaction. So, every generation has cool design, so I'm not saying like I hate all the Pokemon. So obviously, like I like a lot of Pokemon in the generation, but the overall generation, I just didn't like it. So so I was wondering, does this mean? And I wanted to put this question out there: is this hinting at Black and White game remakes? ? So I wrote in the story, it's unclear why the TCG is going to be advertising Unova when Legends ZA is on the horizon. There are no indications of any sets advertising Kalos, Zygarde, or Legends ZA in the first half of 2025. It's also strange to focus specifically on Unova when no other set in 2025 has had any kind of generational theme. I'm just wondering, like... is this just kind of like they're just randomly deciding to advertise Unova here, or does this mean something for the larger franchise as a whole? We definitely don't know because we have, nobody knows obviously what Game Freak is planning, and nobody can claim to know, or, so I just wanted to put that question out there, or, so we could talk about it. But what do you think?
I mean, I think it's a possibility, but I don't think we would have learned about the Black and White remakes through TCG set names. Mm-hmm. And then, and this is another thing that's been brought up too, is 151 released and there was no Gen 1 remake.
Well, so, I think 151 had a little different. It had different circumstances. 151 was the first time that creatures had the rights to that Pokemon had the rights to Kadabra back, and so I think they because they got Kadabra back from Uri Geller. It was cause for celebration. It was the first time they could have all of the Pokemon, the original Pokemon together again. So I really think, and I said it way back then, I think that was the motivation for having that set. And then, people wanted there to be a gold and silver set after this. After 151, but they're jumping to Unova, which is, it's like, I don't know why they're doing that. And
yeah, I would understand jumping to like Kalos since we're getting Kalos game here, but I don't understand going to black and white. It's just so random.
Yeah.
Unless there is something else with it.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like Pokemon is a very transmedia franchise. Like everything advertises each other. So when you see something like this, I mean, you'd have to be pretty blind to not wonder, what this means. So I think it's important to talk about it and, I'm not saying that we're getting black and white remakes. I'm posing it as a question so the community can talk about it. But I just wonder if this is indicating something that, because, with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they allocated that to that ICLA or whatever they're called, that Ilka, sorry, yeah, the one that that Game Freak works with. So maybe they could be, I don't know, maybe they're working on a black and white remake and they'll announce it on Pokemon Day or something, and then that'll tie us over until ZA comes out.
That also makes everybody raise eyebrows because we have like this situation where like we got information that we were getting Diamond Pearl remakes it was like 9 months before we actually got them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we have already heard about Legends ZA, but we haven't heard about this, and this would presumably come out beforehand.
I think the circumstances were a little bit different though with Legends ZA because they knew that Game Freak knew they weren't going to release anything in 2024, any main series game. So it's like, well, what do? We've got to advertise something. So they put out a trailer for Legends ZA, and it's clearly not going to release before the next Pokemon Day. So I think that they advertised it so far ahead because they had nothing else to talk about.
They just as easily could have teased the black and white remakes. That would have made people go nuts,
but that's
too.
not. I don't think the black and white remakes are enough to get people excited, especially if they were planning. If they do exist, which we're not saying they do right now. That would be really weird to advertise the remakes and then say like, oh, but they're not releasing till next summer. Like that would be weird because they're black and white remakes. But like if it was Legends ZA, that makes sense. If they don't have anything coming up in the future, I think that makes sense for them to advertise so far ahead because that's like a main series game. It's going to continue the Legends, series. So to me that made sense for why they were doing that. I don't think them advertising a black and white remake last Pokemon Day only for it to come out in the summer the following year, I don't think that would make any sense. But for Legends ZA, that makes sense to me. And that's clearly what they decided to do because that's what's happening. I'm
just hoping, and I mentioned this last week, but I'm hoping that if a black and white remake or sequel or whatever it is they're planning to do with black and white, if there is anything, if Ilka is the ones, if they are the ones that are involved in its creation, like they did with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I'm hoping they're not going to be constrained like they were with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl to that chibi art style, and that they'll be allowed to use a Scarlet and Violet engine, or maybe like an improved version of Scarlet and Violet engine, one that's a little more polished now that it's had some more time to cook. Because I feel like a lot of people's disappointment with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was that it was basically just a chibi-ified version of the original games that worked on Switch. And they were hoping for something using the Sword and Shield engine that would look more modern, would act more modern. Like people weren't in love with Sword and Shield. People had lots of issues with Sword and Shield. But for the most part, and I say for the most part because there's always an exception, Sword and Shield's like engine itself wasn't the big complaint.
Yeah.
Right. It was the Dex hit was the biggest issue for Sword and Shield, and people found every excuse in the world to claim that there was something else wrong with Sword and Shield. And Sword and Shield, to be fair, not my favorite games either, but I don't think Dex hit is really that big of a deal, frankly. But if you have this newer engine that looks really comparatively very good, I think, or at least more modern, right? And you're able to take Diamond and Pearl and put them in this newer engine, make them look more like newer games, make them feel like newer games, allow them to be in this 3D space. You get something a little bit more novel than, hey, look, it's the same crap you already played, but it's chibi.
Yeah. That was my biggest disappointment too with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I really wanted to go back to Sinnoh and play it under the Sword and Shield engine and like a sort of realistic engine. But all they did was literally like, it felt just like the original games. Like you're just playing the original games. Mm-hmm. Like it didn't add anything new. I think it would have been really cool to explore that world in a more immersive environment. And that's not what we got. So if they, you had told me last week, you said that part of those Giga Leak or whatever that big leak that came out that I haven't really followed, you said that Ilka had complained that they were forced to do that style. Didn't you say that was part of that?
Ilka, according to the leaks, Ilka wanted to do something with the Sword and Shield engine for Diamond and Pearl, and they were basically told no.
That's so interesting to me. I'm wondering maybe if that was because they felt it would cut into the allure of Legends Arceus, like because if you have like a realistic...
I don't think so. If I had to guess, it was because they weren't allocating enough time or resources to the game. Because Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl feels very much like here, let's take this code, let's make sure it runs on Switch. All right, give it a new code of graphical paint, done, put it out.
Oh, I guess that makes sense too. So yeah. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Ilka could be working on a black and white remake right now, and maybe this is hinting at it. I don't know, but I think it's an important talking point to bring up because some people will take this news story and run with it and say that black and white.
Maybe we're getting a black 3, white 3, and it leads directly into the Legends EA
maybe. Who knows?
Story, and we have no idea. It could be very interesting. It could be completely dumb and not worth talking about. But we have no idea yet.
Or they could have just decided, hey, let's just advertise black and white for, just for kicks.
And let's do all of the Unova Pokemon specifically to mess with all the speculators.
Yeah, they could.
That would be great.
I mean, we have gotten I think we did get it's so long ago, it's probably not even relevant anymore, but we had EX Unseen Forces, which was a gold and silver set in the middle of, what was it in the middle of Ruby and Sapphire or something.
We've had sets even as recently as the Sun and Moon era themed after specific regions, but they were never focused on every single Pokemon from that region.
Right. So anyway, I think it's just important to talk about it. Obviously, I'm not trying to imply that remakes are confirmed or anything. It's a question.
No, they're not.
But I think it's an important question to bring up because the franchise is always advertising itself. One aspect of the franchise advertises another, and we usually learn about sets way ahead of anything else in this franchise. So think it's important to talk about does this mean something? What are the points? What are the pros? What are the cons? We don't know anything, obviously, so we're just talking about past trends and things like that and trying to figure out what it means. So we'll see. Something
that might be worth talking about here. So originally when we saw these reveals for the set names,
the trademarks,
we saw Heatwave Arena. We saw Heatwave Arena mix in there. And we had speculated that perhaps Volcarona was involved somehow.
Yeah.
But it turns out Heatwave Arena released before Glory of Team Rocket.
Yeah, well, trademarks are often revealed out of order. I had talked about that back then, too.
But even then, if it's out of order, then you have Heatwave Arena and then Black Bolt and White Flare that are all theoretically at least supposed to be black and white sets. And then you have a random Team Rocket set in the middle of them. Yeah, it does make me wonder if Heatwave Arena is just something else completely.
Well, no, Heatwave Arena is going to feature Cynthia's Garchomp EX, so Actually, let's
So
go
then
over
we already
that.
have confirmation that it is different. Yeah, let's go back over that information because I'm currently rusty on it already.
No, it's all right. I mean, there's. I don't blame you. There's so many releases all the time. It's hard to even for me to keep track of it all, and I'm the one writing the news stories. Like I think you had brought up that there was a collection file N and Lily releasing alongside Battle Partners, and I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then you were like, "You reported on it." And I was like, "I did." I went back and looked because there's just so many releases all the time. It's even hard for us to keep up with it. But anyway, so December 6th, we're getting Terastal Festival EX, obviously featuring the Evolutions. January 24th, we're getting Battle Partners featuring the return of the Owner's Pokemon mechanic. Releasing us alongside the set will be Collection File N and Collection File Lily, which we don't know what those are yet. February 21st, we're going to get the 2 theme decks with Steven's Beldum and Steven's Metagross EX and Marnie's Morpeko and Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. March 14th, Heatwave Arena featuring Cynthia's Garchomp EX. April 18th, The Glory of Team Rocket featuring Rocket's Mewtwo EX. We're not going to get a May set again this year. We didn't get one in 2023, 2024, and now 2025. And then on June 6th, we're going to get this Black Bolt and White Flare featuring all 156 Unova Pokemon. Just this random, I say in quotes, black and white set in the middle of all this. Yeah. It just makes you wonder.
It's a dual set, not even a single set.
It's like, what does this mean? Does it mean maybe it's just random? Maybe they just decided, or could it be something else? So I think it's.
And I brought this up last week on the Lost episode also. But the fact that they're putting 156 Pokemon in 2 sets, whereas 151 was 1 set, is also intriguing.
Well, I think I said last week that I think that makes sense for this generation for Black and White because they were so like opposing. Black and White was like a reset where it was all new Pokemon, and then it's obviously even in the name Black and White, it's like 2 different groups. So like Red and Green or Red and Blue, like I could see them not really thinking of those as opposing games, but like Black and White, like just by nature, are very opposing. So for me, it kind of makes sense for them to split it in 2.
Yeah,
I don't think that means anything.
Feel that.
But you're saying that's also suspicious.
I mean, not necessarily suspicious, but just interesting. Because if it is supposed to be special, like 151 special, then it's special differently.
It's extra special.
It's. Yeah.
All right, let's see. What else? What other news stories did we have? Let's see. I'll get to Pocket in a bit, but I guess that was it. Yeah. Okay. So then we've got a Pocket event going on right now. You can do a Wonder Pick for Bulbasaur, a Bulbasaur promo and a Magnemite promo, and then you can win a bunch of shop tickets to get some Venusaur accessories. And then we also have the Venusaur event going on, which we talked about before, to get the Venusaur full art promo. And yeah, so I like that Pocket is doing these events to keep people engaged. I'm having casual fun with it when I'm on the toilet or in the bathtub, getting in a quick battle or 2. It's kind of fun. So I'm enjoying Pocket. It's not like, I don't know. What do you have to say about Pocket?
Pocket is perfectly fine for a little casual thing on the side.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
And then the only thing right now is that unless you have a premium pass, you can't get this Mewtwo full art card. So that kind of sucks. Because as soon as next month comes around and they refresh the shop for the premium shop, presumably this Mewtwo won't be available anymore, which will be the first time that you miss out on a card in Pocket. So if that's what happens, that will be the first hole in our collections if we don't have the premium pass. But I think you also said last week that sometimes these types of games bring back cards or bring back things if you missed out.
Limited time only. You can come back and get this card you missed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it might not be like the very last time, but could be for a while.
It might be a while before you see it again, but yeah, they'll probably bring it back at some point.
All right, and then I think that was pretty much it. We had the main reveal for Terastal Festival EX last week, the main set reveal. There was only one new card.
There was nothing but junk.
Yeah, there was only one brand new card that got revealed. It was a berry, and yeah, it wasn't that important. So I guess that's it for the week. We're going to get the Battle Partners reveal in the next... When is that Champions League?
It is, I believe, the 21st or 23rd. Let me check real quick.
So basically,
it is the 21st.
Okay, so we should get... So we're 2 weeks away from...
It would be next Friday, Saturday, roughly, that we start getting reveals.
Yeah, not this Friday, Saturday, but the one in the following week.
Next, yeah. The one...
So we're in like I keep saying, the train has started rolling. We started with the EV set, and then we're going to get all these owners sets, and then the Rocket set, and then the black and white. It's going to be a very exciting year, and there's like no better time to be a TCG fan than right now. So I am...
So much cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited, especially for the Team Rocket set. And I will only be excited about the black and white set if there is some kind of... I don't know. I know we're not going to get it, but if they would confirm that we're going to get like generational sets every, year or two, then I would be excited to collect Gen 5 because it means that, eventually there's going to be a Gen 2 and 3 and 4 and everything else in between. But if it's just like a one-time thing, I'm not going to really be that interested in it because like we talked about, Gen 5 is not our favorite. I think it's my second...
Maybe...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you said last week that Kalos was your least favorite, which is funny because it's like my second or third favorite.
Yeah, probably
third favorite after Paldea. But the Pokedex itself for Kalos I don't love, and it's mostly because it's a bunch of rejects from Unova. But yeah, even Unova didn't want them. I do wonder and I hate to bring up the release calendar yet again, but I do wonder if maybe Glory of Team Rocket will be a special set for us. Kind of like Pokemon Go or 151 is, because they could really milk that pretty easily, I think.
It's interesting because there could potentially be two special sets if that were the case. We would get the Team Rocket black and white, but I think Team Rocket will just be a normal set because it's just the owner's mechanic, like the other sets. It's just I think it'll just be a normal set here, and that the black and white set will be our special set. I would imagine. Could be wrong. We'll see.
We will see.
We should just call this the We'll See Show.
Book Beach Podcast episode, blah, blah, blah. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
Because that would put Heatwave Arena and Glory of Team Rocket together in one set. And then Black Bolt and White Flare would be another set for us.
Yeah, that would be the special set. Oh, another thing, too, is that the sell sheet for Black Bolt and White Flare didn't say anything about owner's Pokemon. So that's another indication that it's an extra special set. It didn't, because it's not fitting into the rest of the sets coming out this year or this coming year.
So Shrouded Fable came out in June, it's base set. It's base set in Japan. Night Wanderer came out in June. Mm-hmm. Pokemon Go also came out in June. I think you might be onto something there, John.
Yeah.
What other special sets have we had lately? 151?
Well, you just know it's a special set because
yeah, it's also June. So yeah, it must be the special set.
Yeah.
That's wild. Because that means if that's going to be a special set, though, we need more trademarks, Japan. Come on, hurry up. That makes me wonder because that's a lot of sets, all real tightly packed. But we would need yet more sets in order to make up what would that be? A November? No. September, August, September set, right?
I don't know what you're saying right now.
July, August. Yeah, well, I guess we'd have sets in July and August, right? And those would become our August or September set.
Yeah, there's nothing unusual about the release schedule right now. I think before people were expecting Team Rocket to be a special set because it's Team Rocket, but I think it's just going to be a normal set because it just fits into the rest of the owner stuff. It's just
I mean, it does, but it's weird because like it's not like I would expect it to go with something like a Kanto themed set, right? Not with a Sinnoh set.
Well, we don't know that's a Sinnoh set. It's just featuring
Cynthia's Garchomp. I mean that's Sinnoh. I'm sorry. You're leading with Cynthia. You're leading with Garchomp. That's Sinnoh.
But we talked about this before that the sets are going to have lots of different owners in them. Didn't we talk about before that it didn't seem like they were doing specific themes except for the Team Rocket set? Like
Maybe
Battle Partners features Iono, Marnie, who else? It was a bunch of not random, but cross-generational trainers.
But does Battle Partners actually feature Marnie, or are those Marnie cards coming from the deck?
Or whatever. I don't remember who it featured, but it was featuring different trainers from different generations.
And Lily would be from the collection files, so
my point was just that those sets were featuring trainers from different generations, as in there was no generational theme. So,
like, to me, I could see Battle Partners being Kanto focused.
Well, but let's go back to Battle Partners. Actually, what did I write for that?
Because Battle Partners, it could be like Ash's Pikachu, because that's like their whole shtick, right? They are partners in battle. Red's Pikachu.
Okay, Battle Partners. Yeah, it's going to feature Iono, Anne, and Lily. They're from different generations.
But are they actually from that set, though? That's my question, because Anne and Lily's collection files are separate. They're separate products.
Yeah.
So maybe Iono takes a debut in there as just like a side thing, because she doesn't have a separate product. But...
Yeah, I guess you're right, because the collection. I put the images here because it was collection file Anne and collection file Lily, but that's not actually, that wasn't mentioned as part of Battle Partners itself. So,
and those are pre-constructed decks for Marnie and Steven.
Yeah,
those are not part of Battle Partners necessarily. Now, I know we don't have a home for her, so maybe she is from Battle Partners. So maybe that does by itself discount the whole Kanto theory. But at the same time, like, Battle Partners would make perfect sense for something like Red.
Iono's for sure in Battle Partners because she's on the card sleeves and deck box for Battle Partners. So they wouldn't be.
Maybe we'll get a new print of Iono.
Yeah.
Refresh the regulation mark for Iono.
But we wouldn't be.
Please.
But that I don't know. I don't think that it's going to be themed after generations, or especially not Gen 1 with Battle Partners because it's got Iono. She's not.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what's so exciting.
It does make me wonder what these Battle Partners are going to be, though. Yeah, hurry up, Japan. Stop making us wait. Give us our Christmas present early.
Well, the trailer for it showed... so let's go back to that
Showed a bunch of stuff. Okay, you got to remember, the English trailer is for the English set. The English set is going to be made up of Battle Partners, Collection File In, Collection File Lily, deck, the Beldum and Metagross CX deck, the Morpeko and Grimmsnarl deck. That's all these different Japanese products combined into one set. That doesn't mean it's one source in Japan.
Yeah. But right. No, you're right. But no, but looking at these, I mean, yeah, so we had Arvin's Mabastiff, Misty's Psyduck, Ethan's Pichu, Rocket's Mewtwo.
And we would theoretically get these at least over the course of the next year.
Right.
What?
Okay, well.
Like Lily's Pikachu, or Lily's, let's see, what's his name? Lily's Clefable, or Clefairy rather. I see that coming from her collection file, potentially.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So we don't know what we don't know what Battle Partners is going to specifically be themed after. We just know it's going to have the Return of Owners Pokemon. But my feeling, my thought this whole time was that it was just going to be a bunch of random trainers. I mean, not random, but like just cross-generational trainers. But I don't know.
We'll see.
We will see. Maybe it'll be like I don't know. Maybe it'll be like starter Pokemon and.
Or maybe Battle Partners is all the gym leaders.
Yeah, something like that. That would be really. Ooh, I would love that. We've talked about it before. How it's so hard to remember all the gym leaders now from each of the generations because for me, like they never got they never had owners cards like Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge or even the Gold and Silver.
Versus.
Yeah, Versus, yeah. So it's kind of hard for me to remember a lot of them. So if they did like a pure gym leader set, that would be great for my memory, trying to remember all these gym leaders. All right, so I guess that's it for now. This coming week, I don't think there's really anything coming up. We just have battle
Every
partners.
every time we think that, something sneaks up on us, so we'll see.
Well, I mean, that's always good news. Maybe we'll find out more about when the McDonald's promotion, if and when the McDonald's promotion is going to happen in the U.S. That would be nice.
No, you know what's going to happen? We're going to randomly get
You just
news.
cut out for me.
No, you know what's going to happen?
What?
We're going to randomly get news about the Van Gogh Pikachu just to make us groan.
Oh no. Oh no. All right. Well, I guess that's it for the week. If you've listened this far, what are they going to reply with?
Cryogonal, because it's getting to be winter.
Okay. Cryogonal. If you've made it this far, comment Cryogonal in the comments. And as usual, we love reading your comments, so let us know what you think of the podcast, of what we're talking about, our opinions, or if you think there's that set, the Black Bolt and White Flare, indicate a black and white remake coming, what you think about that. It's always fun to look back and see like what our theories were at the time, where we were right, where we were wrong. That's how the community learns things. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. And we will see you all next week. Is that it?
Bye.
Bye-bye.